You here. How are you?
Dan, likewise. Hi, thanks for having me on the show.
Not at
Great to be here.
all. And I just want to say to those of you on the chat, if you're out there, let me know you're out there. I just want to check that everything's up and running, that you can hear us and you can see us before we get going in earnest. So yeah, we'll Stu, let's just have a little chat before I give you a proper introduction. But we're going to be talking about the Hastings Congress.
Yeah, we
So,
are indeed.
and I should let me start with the introductions. I'm still not seeing anyone on the chat. There's always a little bit of a delay, but if you're out there, let me know you're out there. But in case you don't know Stuart is English Grandmaster and has a very strong connection to Hastings.
Mm.
So Stuart, for those that don't know, is the event director at the Hastings Chess Congress. So Stuart, how long have you been the director there? If I've got your title right.
Well, I think actually I'm chairman,
Oh, you're
chairman of the
chairman.
organizing committee, so I think
Ah,
it's actually that chairman. But um, so it's not just me. But and also I should say it's the Hastings International Chess Congress.
ah.
Uh, and there's always been that important slant to bring overseas players to England to play, and so it's this is my second year at the helm, let's say, and but I've played Dan many times at Hastings, and I spent my years from nine years old to about 18, 19. So my formative chess years, let's say, were spent at Hastings as a member of Hastings Chess Club, and also playing in the Hastings Chess or Hastings International Chess Congress almost
Well,
every year during that period.
well, I can see that we've got people already. Kevin Winter is there. Hi, he says hi, Dan and Stu. Nice to see you there on the chat, Kevin.
Hi,
Um,
Kevin.
and we've got people from all over the world already. Stu, we have David Heath says, "How can we enter the Hastings Congress?" Stu, it's over to you straight away.
Yeah. David, I'll drop you a line. I know, but David is he's a very fine supporter of our events,
Oh, brilliant!
and everything's in hand, David. Thank you.
So I should say that it. I mean, actually, seriously, on a practical note, if anyone does want to enter the Congress, then we've pinned the Hastings Congress website address at the top of the chat, so it's there throughout the chat. So if you're interested, if anyone
Okay.
here is interested in entering the tournament, then just click through on that. So that's the easiest way to go.
Yeah, I could have it's just quickly say, Dan, that the online entry form will be up, I believe, on Saturday. We're slightly behind, but anyway, we're taking
Okay.
entries sort of just direct to me or through the contact email on the website. But everything is in hand, and people will be able to sort of fill out the forms and everything within a day or two.
Okay. Well, I mean, let's get into the nuts and bolts of the tournament. What are the dates of the International Congress this year?
Yeah, so it starts on the 28th of December, which is pretty like a traditional date. So it's always in the days just after Christmas and Boxing Day. And so it starts on the 28th of December and we finish on the 5th of January. And we have a 9-round open, the Masters, Hastings Masters. Because of the sort of schedule this year, we're squeezing that a little bit. We're having 9 rounds in 7 days, followed by a weekend Congress. So people can play both. Weekend Congress with open, major, intermediate, and minor sections. We also have parallel to the Masters, we have various short form events of 3 and 4 days, 5 and 6 rounds. So you can play according to one's level and how many days you can come to Hastings for. You can stay the whole period, or you can stay for some of it and play the tournaments that you want to play.
Okay. Well, I'm just that's we'll talk a little bit more about what you've got planned, Stuart. But I can see on the chat we have Yamil Duba, who's in Paraguay. That's great.
Wow. Hola,
Fantastic.
amigo.
Hola, hola. Oh,
Hola, ¿qué tal?
of course, Stuart is completely fluent in Spanish. I mean, you lived in Spain for several years.
I lived in Spain for many years, and Paraguay. I've actually been to Paraguay, so nice to hear that we have a Paraguayan.
Fantastic,
Okay.
and I think we have people from India as well. So, on the chat, let us know where you are in the world. I always love to hear where people are from. I always give a virtual medal to the person from the furthest away. So yeah, let us know where you are, guys. Kevin says, is it the longest running international tournament ever? Stuart.
Kevin, that's a very good question. It's certainly, I think it may be the record holder. If it's not, it's one of the, depending how one measures it, because the first, and I think Dan will be looking at a game from the event later, the first Hastings Congress goes back, or tournament goes back to 1895, the very first one. But then there was a gap until the second one was, I think, 1920 or 2021. So there was a gap there. But the very first one in Hastings, organized by the Hastings Chess Club at the time, was 1895. And then from 1920 to the current day, it's almost an uninterrupted series just for the two war periods. And COVID also claimed one or two events as well.
Well, we're going to be looking at a classic from that 1895 tournament, which was had an extraordinary lineup of players. I can see we've got Connecticut in the States, Sumik Maji is in India, Ahmed Khomesi is in Iran, Mario Bronstein is in Austria. Now, we have Panda TTC who says, wait for this, Stu, I remember seeing Stuart at a London Evening Standard Congress. I think he won the under 18. And for some reason, I have a vision of him wearing a crown. And I thought that was so cool at the time. Wearing a crown.
What?
Stu, what were you up to?
I can't remember that at all. It's, hey, it sounds cool, huh? It's a good to be reminded of that, but I don't really remember it.
Chet, we got already questions for you, Stu. Chess Demystified says, I can't see the time control on the website. I've sent the email to the chairman, probably Stuart, yesterday asking for the time control. Probably you, Stu.
I will get back to the gentleman or lady as soon as I can, all right? This evening or tomorrow.
Well, what is the time control? I mean, it's a classical tournament, yeah?
Yeah, for the Masters, it's going to be, I think, 90 minutes with 30-second increments because we've got 2 double round days. So, we need a faster time control to allow for that. And then the other events will have, I think, the same control as last year. It's about 2 hours per player per game with increment always,
And Stu, another personal mention, we have Witcher86 says, hello and warm welcome from Lithuania. Stuart is a great organizer. Well, I should mention, of course, that Stuart was for many years the event organizer of the Gibraltar tournament, which had a fantastic reputation.
With the help of a lot of other people, I have to say. But yes, thank you.
Stu, you're very modest.
Gibraltar was a great. We're not going to talk about Gibraltar so much tonight, but I mean that was a great world-class event and went on for many, many years.
And he says Stuart's a great organizer. We're thankful for an amazing last tournament. Very nice tournament we had together with Sarunas Sulskis. There we are.
Oh yes, Sarunas. That's right. Yes.
There we go. Listen, we should look at some chess because, of course, we're going to be talking a lot about the Hastings tournament, and of course, we need to look at some of the absolute classic games that have been played throughout the years. And I'd like to start with this game. Now, this perhaps isn't so well known, as was played in the Hastings tournament from 1972-1973. And Ulf Andersson playing white, of course, the great Swedish Grandmaster, against Bill Hartston. Well, at that time, one of the most promising English players. And it's a pretty tight game. And, I mean, Bill has bishop and knight against the 2 bishops, but he's sort of trying to create something maybe on the king side. He's blocking out this one. But
I mean, I guess you'd expect this game to finish in a draw ordinarily, wouldn't you, Dan?
I would think so, yeah, because, I mean, I don't think that white can do too much with the 2 bishops. But Ulf is trying, of course. And in this position, he took on c7. Now, this is our first question for our viewers. So what did Hartston, playing black, play in this position? Black to play. Yeah, Kevin says Bill is more famous for Gogglebox. Well, Bill is a celebrated journalist. I mean, he's a brilliant journalist, actually.
Mm.
And actually, Stu, the reason I mean, this was my selection. I picked out this game because I remember seeing this game in a magazine, and this was one of the sort of first occasions where I was aware of the Hastings Congress. And this one kind of leapt out at me because I mean, it was such an unusual finish. Yeah, Witcher 86 says Queen H3, boom. Yeah, there we go.
Exactly.
Thank you, Witcher 86.
Look at that.
And that was the final move of the game. So, yeah,
I think Ulf must have fallen off his chair at that point.
absolutely, because that is checkmate. That's the beautiful one. I mean, amazing stuff. And of course, if king goes one of the other squares, then Queen F1 is mate. Absolutely. Put, as Kevin says, put that in your pipe and smoke it. Yeah, well done, Witcher 86. Well done, Ahmad Khomesi, for suggesting Queen H3. So, Stuart, I mean, you said, you spent a lot of your childhood years actually living in Hastings. So
that's right.
What was your first memory of the tournament?
Okay, the first time I went to the Congress with my dad, actually my father was on the organizing committee as well at the time. For 3 years, he was the secretary of the Congress, yeah. So I was 9 years old, and he took me along, well, to watch the games, not just for the Premier Games, but also all the other events, the challenges as it was then, and plenty of other things going on. And also I took part, I did play as well. As I said, I was 9. I didn't do very well, you'd expect. But hey, it was a fantastic experience. I remember my father bought me from the bookstore. We bought a lovely, handsome chess set and board as a special kind of gift. Yeah, I was just loving every second. I really did. I thought it was amazing.
There's someone saying in the chat, is the surname a coincidence? Battle of Hastings, Norman Conquest.
It is pure coincidence, I can assure you.
Your dad didn't move
Well, maybe he moved
the family down to Hastings.
Maybe he did. We did. I wasn't born in Hastings. Some people think I was born there. I wasn't born there. I was born in Essex, and then we moved down to Devon. So then Hastings was like the third place where I grew up or I lived. But yeah, Conquest, Hastings.
There we are. It all fitted.
Well.
And you became a member of the Hastings Chess Club.
The Hastings International Chess Club, correct? Yeah.
Which was, I mean, part of the. Oh, hang on. What have I done? I might have messed up here. Stu, are you there?
I'm here.
Oh, I think has your picture disappeared?
It has. Did you do something to me?
I think I did something to you. I don't know what I did.
Come back.
Come back. We might.
Should I keep talking while? Yeah.
Just keep talking. Yeah. Sorry, I messed up completely. I don't know what I did, but there you go. I've messed up.
You were saying, Dan, about the Hastings and St. Leonard's Chess Club. Yeah. So yes, my father and I joined.
Yeah.
I was 9. And then see, Hastings is still, I think, one of the only chess clubs in the UK, in Britain, which owns its own premises. Therefore, the club was open every day of the year except Christmas Day.
Wow.
And so one could go along in the afternoon, in the evening, and almost be guaranteed to have a game of chess. There were plenty of tournaments, matches with teams from coming down from London or Kent, other parts of down in the south, from Brighton and so on. So plenty of chess, and yeah, look, for me it was great because I got to play strong adults. I was the only junior at the time. I was the only young player in the club, really. And hey, so I started playing there, and then I started having lessons from a chap called Arthur Windsor, who was a near neighbour of ours in Hastings, and he was a strong player, a retired man at this point, and he was a former Sussex champion, many times Sussex champion actually. And he also even took part in the Premier event at the Congress in his heyday. So he was giving me lessons once a week. So everything came together for me, both the chess club and the chess congress.
All right, I think you're back again. That's good. Yeah.
Don't do it again, Dan.
I don't know what I did. Anyway, listen, let's crack on and have a look at this classic game. So Wilhelm Steinitz, or as it's written here, William Steinitz. I don't know. Maybe when he went to the States, he became William. Against Kurt von Bardeleben. Now, you were saying something interesting about von Bardeleben earlier.
Yeah, well, I just checked this game down, a little bit of context about this game, because the game, of course, is very well known. It's a classic, I mean, and deserves to be. And people might think, von Bardeleben, who is he? Maybe he was a kind of a pushover, or just a weak player or something. No, not at all. In the company of this tournament, he was certainly a strong player. And he even, at this point, Dan, this was round 10 of the tournament. It was a big tournament, many players. Plenty of rounds, and this was round 10. So they'd played 9 rounds before this game. And Kurt von Bardeleben, here, who's playing the black pieces, he was in a tie for sort of second or third place. He had 7.5 out of 9 at this point. Whereas Steinitz only had 50%. He just lost his last 3 games, Steinitz, before this round.
Right.
So a bit of context to this great game is that really Steinitz was not the underdog, but certainly he wasn't in good shape at all. So there you go.
Stuart, I'm just going to flick through these first few moves. So it's this crazy gambit line that starts with knight takes e4, of course. Ever played this one?
I haven't played this one, actually, no.
It's absolutely mad. Recently, I mean, it didn't go like this, but recently this one has been revived, and not bishop g5 is kind of the old move, but actually. I think it was Jordan van Foreest played rook f4 here. Or was it Aronian? Wow. One of the two. Which, of course, is a computer suggestion.
Okay.
It's not so stupid. Anyway, the game didn't go like that. Let's bash on, because I want to get to the kind of critical position. And actually, this is already a bit dubious for black.
Okay.
As we can see, the black king is in the middle. Here's where I'd like to pause the game. I can see I've got some fantastic comments on the chat here. I've got Witcher86 says that he visited the town called Battle, where the actual battle 1066 was fought, and the Abbey Museum during the tournament. As a history fan, it was very cool. I've visited the battle and the site of the battlefield, and it is fantastic, I have to say. I really enjoyed it, and you can see exactly how the strategy of both sides, with the Saxons on the top of the hill and the Normans trying to fight up. Yeah, it's amazing. So yeah, I mean, I agree. Witcher 86, that's a great one,
and obviously a pivotal moment, Dan, in English history. Totally. British history.
It's changed English, changed British history. That is the date in English history, 1066, of course. Changed the language.
Right. How about that? Yeah.
Yeah. There we are. Yeah. So yeah, we don't eat cows. We eat beef. That sums it up.
Because of that 1066.
Exactly. Yeah, the Anglo-Saxon peasants were still looking after the cows. The Normans came in, they took the cows, and when they ate it, they ate beef. There we are.
On mange du bœuf.
On mange du bœuf, exactly. So here we go. We have Bella Glavi says Queen e2, which of course was the move that Steinitz played, and it's a good move. This is a typical situation where we're pinning the knights and the king is stuck in the middle. So Queen e2, of course, looks like a really natural move. In fact, I was looking at this game today and looking at it with modern eyes, i.e. computer, with a computer. I cheated. And actually, the computer thinks that Queen a4 check is the best move. And if c6, then Queen b4, because this is just incredibly strong, because if the queen goes back, then I think we can just take here and play rook e1. That's end of game. And if Queen d7, then Queen b4, and this is even stronger because we're simply hitting both these. So
interesting.
It's you've won a pawn and you have the attack. But anyway, Queen e2 played, and we'll get to the critical moment. And again, the computer thinks that rook d1 was better. But anyway, right. I'm going to leave everyone. here's the next position. So white to play again. What did Steinitz play here? But it's so great that Hastings has this tradition from 1895 and this run of tournaments. And I mean, Kevin was asking which world champions have never played at Hastings.
Well,
it's easier to say which ones didn't play.
That's right. I mean, well, Bobby Fischer nearly came to Hastings. He nearly played,
Really?
by the way.
Really?
Young Bobby. Yeah, he didn't come. He never played, but he was. I gather that it was sort of left a bit too late. He was sort of maybe on his side procrastinating, and the organizers. He was invited. He was very welcome to come, and it was just too late. I think by the time he said yes, it was too late. They'd invited someone else or something. Yeah, but and then Karpov came.
Yeah, well, let's go through. Steinitz played, Lasker played,
Yeah.
Capablanca,
Alekhine,
Botvinnik,
Botvinnik.
Botvinnik. I missed out Over.
Yeah.
I mean, Over won the tournament, of course. Botvinnik.
And then Smyslov, Tal, all those guys came.
Smyslov,
Botvinnik,
Tal,
yeah, you said.
yeah.
Spassky.
Karpov. Kasparov never played.
No, and that's where it's sort of as far as it gets to Karpov, really.
Yeah. But that's an amazing record.
Still, come on.
We've got Bela Glavi, Mario Brunsteiner, and Chess Demystified have all suggested D5. Well done, everyone. And Yamil in Paraguay as well.
Thematic move, Dan, D5.
Beautiful move. Breaking open the position, and then this is, I mean, now it's absolutely beautiful. And we have, I can look at my t-shirt, the famous Octopus Knight on E6. We can see it there. Octopus Knight. There we go. This beautiful piece. And I'm just going to get through to the next critical moment. Knight G5. So obviously a check and looking at the queen. So the king has to come back here. Right.
Yep.
And here is where something really remarkable happens. So over to you, everyone. I'll ask the chat again. What did Steinitz play now? So, Stuart, you were involved a little bit in... There's this book that came out in 2022, I believe, called Battles of Hastings.
Correct, yeah, or even last year, 2023. That's right, yeah. It first came out in German. It's by two German authors, Jürgen Brustkern, who's a good friend of mine. Yeah. And he's, I wouldn't say he's the principal author, but I think it was his baby. I mean, his sort of project, really. And then a colleague of his, Norbert Wallet.
Yeah.
Who I don't know personally.
I've met him, actually. Yeah, he's...
You know Norbert? Okay.
He's a journalist in Germany, yeah.
Right, yeah, exactly, yeah. And so they sort of collaborated on this lovely book. It's all it's sort of the subtitle, if you like, is Stories and Games of the Oldest Chess Tournament in the World. It's published by New in Chess, and I did help with some of the proofreading and just to sort of polish up some of the text. And listen, it's full of stories, it's full of games, highlights, including the one that we're looking at now, and the whole history of the Congress, what it says from this event, 1895, right up to a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
And it's a great read.
I mean, I was looking through the book this afternoon. Really nice book, very nicely produced, lovely photographs. And lots of people are suggesting, well, I'm switching back to the game. Rook takes E7. Yeah, fantastic move. So if...
But the thing is, Dan, I have to say, sorry, that black also has a great defense here.
An unbelievable defense. Unbelievable. Because, okay, first of all, we should just say that if queen takes rook, then rook takes rook. So white is just winning a piece. And if king takes, then there's a big check here. And, for example, this. And the queen drops. I mean, basically everything goes with check. I think this is a really nice variation, actually. Queen d6. But this is incredible. I wonder if Steinitz had realised what was happening now. Because von Bardeleben played king f8. And now there are 1, 2, 3, 4 pieces on prise. And of course, rook takes c1 is serious.
Mhm.
So this is incredible.
I wondered, Dan, if maybe von Bardeleben, maybe he thought he'd tricked Steinitz into this
Maybe.
variation a little bit, sort of because King F8 and suddenly, is white losing material or something?
Yeah, possibly.
Yeah.
So what did Steinitz play now? This is where it starts to get absolutely mad. Oh, Kevin makes an interesting point actually, Stu. Gheorghiu could be a excuse me. Hang on. Gheorghiu could be a world champion who's played at Hastings.
Ah, I see.
What year did he play?
I don't know, actually. Off the top of my head, I can't say. But
Actually, maybe Kevin could tell us. Kevin, when did
Yeah.
Gheorghiu play in Hastings? But that's good.
well, if the next world champion has played at the Congress, yeah.
Bella Glavi says knight h7. No, not here. Be careful. Just Demystified says the mad rook. Yes, rook f7 check. Well done. An amazing move. So again, if queen takes, then we can flick in rook takes check. So the king came here, and now again this extraordinary move.
There's nothing like this game, actually.
No,
There's really nothing like
well,
it.
nothing I've seen anyway. Okay. So I think I'm just going to say the next move. Otherwise, we're going to run out of time. Rook g7. So again, if king takes, then queen takes queen check. If queen takes, then rook takes rook. So king h8, and now rook takes h7. And I mean, this is unbelievable. And here, von Bardeleben resigned. So once again, if queen takes rook, then rook takes rook check, and that wins. And if king g8, then rook g7. I mean, again, the rook returns. But this time, it's different, because if king f8, this one. And that's winning. And if king h8, there's this one. Basically, it's all with checks. And actually, we're back to...
This is your variation from before.
Exactly, yeah. We got there in the end. I mean, this is just... as you said, I mean, it's unique, I think. It seems to me.
There's also a story, Dan, that von Bardeleben, rather than resign, like stop the clocks and handshake, that he just left the tournament hall with his clock running and didn't reappear.
Really?
Yeah, apparently, yeah.
Wow.
So, I mean, he came back for the next round, but he didn't come back to...
Oh, I think I've messed up again. I don't know how I've done this. You've disappeared. I think it's all down to me.
Game. Oh, no.
Yeah, my fault. Hang on, let's see if Pascal is there. I don't know what I'm pressing. I just loaded the next game. Just a second. We'll get you back. Oh, here we go.
We're still friends, Dan. It's okay.
I don't know. Every time I load a new game, it just disappears. Just a second. Let me just... I'm just... putting in a little password, and hopefully we can fix this one again. Sorry, folks. Let me see. Kevin asks, when Steinitz played, did they have clocks?
Yeah, sure, they would have done. Sure. Yeah, certainly that event at Hastings. Yeah, I'm sure they did.
Yeah, I'm sure they did. But there were kind of crazy time controls.
Yes. Yeah, much slower than we play today, of course, generally. And then they would sometimes adjourn after move 30 and things like this.
Yeah.
I'm not too sure, but...
I wanted to, for the next game, what I wanted to do was go through... Again, this is one of these games that I remember from my childhood. And it's Julio Kaplan against Bronstein. David Bronstein. David Bronstein, as we know him in England. And this one has always stuck in my mind. I think it's absolutely beautiful. And there's a strange little coincidence as well. So it's this very sharp French. I don't know, Stuart, have you seen this game before?
I have seen it. I have seen before, but just once maybe. Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to ask our viewers what would they play with black, because I think this is the sort of one of the key moments in the game. While we're waiting for our viewers to come up with a suggestion, tell us about a little bit more about your playing in Hastings, because you said you played for the first time when you were 9 years old.
Yeah.
But you've played in the Premier.
I have. I played in the Premier. The first time I played in the Hastings Premier. So I should just explain for people who maybe aren't so familiar that we used to have back in the day a closed invitation event of sometimes 10, sometimes even 14 or even 16 players before my time there. So there would a closed invitation event, and then you'd have something called the Challengers, an open tournament, and the winner of the Challengers would normally qualify, or in fact would qualify for the following year's Premier tournament. And then you'd have other tournaments around the Challengers as well. So I did play in the Premier many times. The first time I think I was 18, 1985-6, that Congress it would be.
And you did well.
I did well. Yeah, I think I was bottom or second to bottom seed, and I came equal third. I mean, it was great. I got a really good result for me. So
who won that year?
I think Margia Pettersson won actually.
Oh really?
That's it. I think Margia won.
Yeah, for those that don't know Margia was one of the strongest Icelandic grandmasters, who were in those years in the 1980s a really powerful chess nation.
Yeah, of course, yeah, very much so. And he played more than once in Hastings, Margia. And then people like Balashov were playing from Soviet Union, of course, at the time. And Mikhail Shishin, I think, was there, and many strong GMs or strong, or people who became GMs later on.
Okay, we've got a suggestion of Bishop G4, and as Witcher86 says, something bad is going to happen on those diagonals. Yeah, so that hits the rook, and then Bronstein played Bishop G5. So it's this pin, which is very nasty indeed. And the game went on like this. I mean, this is just a fantastic finish. So I'm just going to go a little bit further on. It's always stuck in my mind, this game. Okay, and now I'm going to ask again.
Yeah.
Black to play. What did Bronstein do? So Kevin asks, have any Brits won Hastings?
Oh, sure, many. The Hastings Premier. Even I tied for first a couple of times.
You tied for first?
Yeah, twice.
Stuart, I didn't realise. You're being too modest.
Well, it's okay. But I mean, and others. Goodness me, I think Nigel Short won, and if you go back far enough, I think Yates probably won. I think an early Hastings.
I looked at actually Yates's record. So Fred Yates won in I think it was 1920.
Yes,
but I don't think there were, or maybe there was just one foreigner. It was a pretty limited event. But yeah, apart from that, he didn't have huge success there. So, I mean, I remember, I think Alexander tied with Bronstein. There was a famous one where they had that great battle.
Yes.
I'm
sure John Nunn has won, isn't it? Another
John and Nigel Short, of course. John, but I don't think Tony Miles ever won Hastings.
I don't think he did. No, he played several times, but I don't think he ever won. That's correct. Yeah.
Okay, we've got we have Witcher86 and Chess Demystified, who both say take and here, and yes, it's an eternal pin, and there's this beautiful move after Black's next move. White resigned. I mean, this is just fantastic because basically White runs out of pawn moves. Have you ever had anything similar to that?
Yeah, I'd like to say yes, but I mean, it's awful, isn't it? I mean, really.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, but Kaplan, I think he was world junior champion. I mean, he was a
Ah, yeah,
perfectly strong player. I mean, yeah,
yeah, and
obviously a bad day at the office here.
yeah. Listen, yeah, okay. Listen, Stu. I feel I'm. I didn't even realise you'd actually won it a couple of times. So listen, tell me more about those.
Yeah, well, shared first.
Like, who
Um,
cares?
Once I remember I had a crazy game with Matthew Sadler in the last round, which I think either of us could have won, to be honest. Time scramble and everything else. And somehow I won as black, and that landed me in a tie for first. And a similar story another year, I think. Last round, I think I was half a point behind, and I won some crazy game with black after 80 moves or something, and then sort of reached a tie for first. Yeah, hey, but I was lucky because obviously living locally and being the club champion before and being the sort of the only player, let's say, of sort of GM,
Mm,
IM level in the town, I was lucky to be invited on the times that I was. So
mm,
it was
mm.
always a great privilege to me to be able to take part.
Oh, totally. I mean, that's absolutely fantastic. Yeah, but to win it twice, that's amazing.
And you,
Um,
Dan, I think you also played in Hastings in the Premier, right? Did
I
you not?
played once in the Premier. It was an utter disaster. It was absolutely terrible. I played so badly. So although I have some fond memories of Hastings, but not on the chessboard.
Yeah.
I had a good time, but I had a terrible tournament. But if we've got time, I'd like to actually show one of the games. But I just want to pick up on this one game now. Hopefully, I can load the next game without something terrible happening. But I'm not sure. But anyway, I want to show this. Hang on. Have you disappeared again?
I don't know.
I'm not sure either. I think you've disappeared again. I have no idea why this is happening. This
Hmm.
is very unfortunate.
People can still hear us both, I guess.
We can still hear us. Yeah. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to zip through this game very quickly. Um, so this is a game between Florin Gheorghiu, I mean, very well-known Romanian
Hmm.
grandmaster, and Svetozar Gligoric. Did you ever play Gligoric?
I never even met Gligoric, actually, to be honest.
Really?
Unfortunately,
Ah,
I never even met him.
very
No.
nice guy. I
Hmm.
listen. I exchanged 2 words with him, uh, but so I never knew him very well. But
No.
he was a man you could just see he was a class act.
Yeah.
Very nice guy. Um,
He played many times in Hastings. I think he won the Premier 3 or 4 times. Yeah. So
sorry.
very well liked.
Yeah, very nice guy. Um, just 1 second. I've just got to sort this out. Yeah, Stuart. While
I'm
we're
here.
just sorting out the tech issues again, I've got Ian Seda, who says, "Please ask Stuart about the tournaments he played in Puerto Rico in the mid 1980s."
Wow, that's incredible. Yeah, I played. I've only been there once. I played as part of the English student. It was a student event,
Okay,
and uh, I was there with who was there? James Howell was there, I remember, and Neil MacDonald, who still plays. James no longer plays, I don't think. John Hawksworth, and I
really?
think there were 4 or 5 of us. Yeah,
Wow,
1986, if I'm not mistaken, 85 or 86.
fantastic. Oh, you're
Yeah,
back again.
I'm back. Okay.
Listen, just very quickly, just looking at this game. So this is Gheorghiu against Gligoric. Oh, you've disappeared again. Oh, now you're back again. Excellent.
I'm not touching anything.
I'm not touching anything either. And this is a really funny coincidence. If we think about that Kaplan Bronstein game, so
Hmm.
what did? Oh, it's leapt around again. I'm just gonna come back to this position. Um, so black to play. I'm just gonna throw this out there. I don't think you've seen this game, have you?
No, I haven't. No.
Well, yeah. I mean, the first idea, as Chess Demystified says, is rook takes and bishop f5. So it's like this
Hmm.
pin, as in the Kaplan Bronstein game. But of
Yeah.
course, this is different because white can step up and break the pin. So this is where it gets interesting. Gligoric found an absolutely fantastic concept.
Okay.
I'm not putting you on the spot. So this is really this is very deep. This is really deep. But so I'm going to throw it out there because this is tricky. So basically, let me guide everyone towards this one. So obviously, black can exchange down into a pawn endgame. But Gligoric managed to make a very clever move and found a very clever idea to basically transpose into a winning pawn endgame. So what did he play now, and why is it so strong, basically? Mario Brunstein, it says king to g3. Well, it would be very nice to play the king to g3, but it's not so easy to arrange that. It would be, Mario, I agree. It would be very good to get it there. Lucky Left Arm says king e5. Yeah, I think the problem is that, moves like king e5, of course, if we could exchange down and then bring the king in, that would be fantastic. But after king e5, I guess we can just play g3 to block out the king. So actually, Gligoric came up with something else. I'm gonna show the move actually because it's really special.
Sure.
So g5 played. So this was exchanged. King g5. Okay, so as many of you said before, if the king gets in here, then black is winning. So white played this. Okay, now this is the really clever bit that clearly Gheorghiu had overlooked and Gligoric had seen from many moves back actually. So he played h5. So of course white needs to step out of the pin. So now he needs to take back the exchange. Okay, now what did he do? So I'm Stuart, I'm going to throw this out there.
Yeah, throw it out.
So black to play. What did Gligoric come up with? How did he win from this position? And it's so thematic. I think this is so pure, so beautiful. Black to play. What did Gligoric do? Oh, it's all gone very quiet out there.
I haven't seen this game before, Dan.
I just thought it's so interesting because, it's a similar theme, but this is kind of the icing on the cake. Oh, but I'm getting no response from our viewers. I'm going to have to show it because, Stuart, I want to show one of your games before we leave. Volker says F5 question mark. Yeah, Christian Markart and Bella Glavi say F5. Okay, this is the clever thing. So basically a pawn sack, and this is just completely winning with the outside passed pawn.
Right.
So if this is taken, then of course king F5, and well, it happened like this. Now there's no need to take immediately, of course. B5, fix the pawns. For here, actually, Gheorghiu resigned.
Okay.
So black fixes the pawns. Let's do this, and then we can.
And then he'll cross to the queen side.
Yeah, so we can do it how you like, basically. But have I messed up already? I hope not. I think basically just black gets there first. Yeah, I think I managed to achieve it. Yeah, but I thought there's such a nice concept. He'd foreseen that F5 was a winning move a long way back, and of course F4 check, simply king G4.
Possibly Gheorghiu just felt they were just going to have a draw that position. He kind of dropped his guard a little bit, maybe.
Yeah, could be.
In the play leading up to that, rook takes d3.
Beautiful idea. I want to to find one of your games. So hang on. Here we go. So this was played. Edward Formanek from the States. He was an international master, I seem to remember.
That's right.
You're playing black. And this was your first time in the Premier.
Exactly, my first game in the Premier. I have a photograph because there was, as often at these events, there was a sort of welcome speech and dignitaries, and there was the mayor or lady mayor of Hastings, and so Ed Formanek and myself at the table, and so on. So, in fact, in the book we spoke about the chess battles of Hastings. There's the pictures reproduced in the book. So I have fond memories of this game, because of the result, of course, and it was my first time, as you said, Dan, in the event, and as the kind of the newbie. I think Ed Formanek had won the challenges the year before. That's why he was playing.
Oh, okay.
I think, as I said before, the winner of the challenges qualified for the following years. Knight takes a6 there, so it was a strange sort of Benko. He plays knight on h3. I thought, well, hey, if he can play knight h3, I can play knight takes a6 instead of bishop takes a6.
Now f4.
Yeah.
Oof.
Probably not a great move. I guess he wants to play knight f2.
But knight g4, yeah.
Yeah, because if knight f2, bishop d4, etc. So now black has the bit between his teeth, I think we could say.
Yeah.
Lots of compensation.
Let's zip on through this one and get to the crucial moment. So, hang on, what round? Oh, this was the very first round.
It was the first round, as I said. They had the opening ceremony, etc.
Brilliant.
It's all.
So
this was just starting the tournament.
Got you off to a
black has a fantastic or winning position now for sure. I got this nice knight e1. I like playing that move, knight e1.
That's unusual. Great stuff. And yeah, I like this next bit. This is really nice. So actually, you're a pawn down here.
I'm still a pawn down, yeah.
But
still a pawn down. He has to keep defending the bishop on c1. That's why I plays rook f1.
That's very nice.
That's very It's and the next move I play is also quite nice. I mean, white is lost anyway.
Yeah,
no question.
But actually, this is a really nice move. Perhaps I'm going to invite viewers. Kevin Winter says the book is lovely. The authors have done a great job. There we are.
I agree, Kevin. Well said.
Yeah. So, yeah, we should say it's called The Battle of Hastings, published by New in Chess.
Should I hold it up, Dan? Will people see if I hold
yes,
it up?
Please, do that. Yeah.
This is the book?
I only have a... hold it a little higher. That's right. Blocks your face. Perfect, Stu. The Chess Battles of Hastings. Yeah, I have the book on my app, on my New in Chess app.
Well done.
But I don't have a physical copy. Oh, Kevin says if you're into chess history, the book would make a great Christmas present. And read it with a glass of port. Okay, there we go. We've got f5 suggested by Memento Mori. Yeah. And
that's what I played. f5. Well, he played rook d1 as good as resigning because he can't play e3 to e4. That's the point.
That's the point. Yeah. Very nice. So the game finished like this. And
I mean, it's resignable, of course.
Yeah. Okay, you got him. Fantastic stuff. And Stuart, I want to sort of bring things right up to date. Stuart, you've come full circle. You grew up in Hastings. You've played on many occasions in the Hastings Congress, and now you are chairman of the events committee for the tournament. So tell us a little bit more about that. So how long have you been doing this for?
Yeah, no, it's just my second time, really. I mean, I sort of stepped or took up the role for last year's Congress, and I was invited to join the committee in this position. I thought, well, okay, let me give something back, because also I feel that Hastings has been such an important part of my chess career, starting off, and all the experience and memories and so on that I have, and others have as well, of course, not just me. But I felt also with the Gibraltar experience as well, of sort of trying to help organize events and personal contacts and so on, I thought I could certainly help, which I think I've done, So it's also a challenge, Dan, organizing a big event and getting people to come, and also the time of year. Hastings, it's the traditional dates just after Christmas, but as we know, it's not always the best dates maybe for people with family considerations and so on, to travel. But still, last year was a big success. I think we did well. Numbers were high, and I'm hearing from you people coming back who came last year, which is the best thing, word of mouth.
Fantastic. I mean, I wasn't there last year, but I saw that. You're kind of organising like fun events in the evening. Not just the the main event and the subsidiary tournaments, but there are kind of fun blitz events and that kind of thing in the evening and all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, I think they have. It wasn't me. I didn't introduce those. I mean, they have had those events
Right.
before, evening events and social things. We had a talk by someone, for example, which was excellent. And again this year, I'm sure we'll try to squeeze things in around. There's also New Year's Eve, of course, falls during the Congress.
Ah,
So
any casualties there?
yeah. So
I see.
it's nice to try to maybe have, yeah, and also people make their own plans and go out and do things. And Hastings, it's not a bad place. There's actually quite a lot to do there. The old town is very pretty, and the
It is.
atmosphere,
Yeah,
yeah, it's nice.
there's
It's quite nice.
some great cafes and pubs and stuff. Samudra Escapes says, "Where do we purchase a signed copy of the book?" Well, we should say that Stuart, you wrote a foreword for the book, but
I did write a forward for the book. That's correct. Yeah.
you didn't author it. But listen, your signature in it would be very. Maybe Samudra Escapes. Maybe you should go down to Hastings.
Come to Hastings and I'll sign it for you.
Stu will
I
sign it for
promise.
you. I think that's the thing.
Absolutely.
Stu, just remind everyone of the dates of the Congress again this year.
So this year's Hastings Chess Congress is from the 28th of December until the 5th of January. And we have many events, and the website address, I think it's www. Well, I know it's what it is. It's hastingschess.com.
Yep,
I think it's on your screen as well. You can
that's
find
right.
that. And
Yep.
we have events for players of all levels. Let's say that from title players to amateurs, and obviously for young players and old players and so on. So it's just a great community spirit there, really. And anyone is welcome to come and watch.
Kevin
There's no
says.
charge to come and watch.
Kevin asks, "Will there be the usual commentary?"
We very much hope there will be commentary as well, and we'll just cram in as much as we can. As much as we can.
I can see we're really running out of time, but I would like to show as maybe a final game the winner of last year's best game prize.
Yes. Yeah,
So,
this game made a big impression on me, I have to say.
so this is Freddie Gordon playing white. Freddie Waldhausen Gordon. We can confuse accents greatly with this name. Against Max Lagarde from France.
Yeah, Maxime. Yeah, one of our. We had many French title players come last year, and this year as well. I think several are coming back.
They're reliving the ancient battle of the Normans against the Saxons. So listen, this is an absolutely. I mean, I saw this game earlier in the year, and this is an absolutely brilliant game. Who judged the best game prize?
Well, I was one of the judges, and I thought, hey, I mean, this game was. I think it was round 2. It was played early on in the event, and I'd never seen this particular form of Benko Gambit before, with a quick E6 sort of Blumenfeld Benko, let's say.
And just to mention that. Gawain Jones won a beautiful game in the summer in the British Championship.
He did
using exactly this variation, and yeah, it's actually extremely dangerous. White has to be
and look
very
what happens here.
switched
Black
on.
just leaves that rook on A6 down after E3. He just leaves it hanging on A6.
To be honest, I think it's quite brave to take it because that bishop looks amazing. But there's nothing immediate. I think that's what's interesting about this. It's very long-term compensation.
It is, yeah. And who's to say? I mean, who stands better? I don't know. But gradually, Black builds up his attack here, and White, doubtless, White could have defended better.
Yeah, but it's
But-
not.
and
It's
the
really
fin-
not easy. But this is. I mean, I think just this next sequence of moves is incredible. So I'm going to throw it open again. Black to play. What did Lagarde play in this position? Okay, while we're waiting for responses, Samudrascape says, any thoughts on the upcoming World Chess Championship? What are your feelings, Stu?
Oh, I don't know, crumbs. It could be very close indeed. Actually, I don't know. I haven't really thought much about it, to be quite honest. Yeah. I mean, I know it's happening soon, and we'll be bombarded with, coverage, I'm sure, so looking forward to it, certainly. But I don't really have, favorites I just want to see it'll be nice I hope that Ding's in form and that we have a close match.
Well, that's my only thought. I just want it to be a close match.
Yeah.
I mean, to be honest, I'm a kind of a fan of both players. I really like the way Gheorghiu plays. His determination is extraordinary. And, I've always been a fan of Ding's play because I think, when he's on form, he's a brilliant attacking player. Some of his checkmating attacks are off the scale, but he can also play very strategically too. Rook takes f3. Kevin sort of says, rook f3? Question mark. Well, watch what happens because this is absolutely sensational. This king is in massive trouble. But what I love is these quiet moves. Queen e2.
Queen e2, look at that. Yeah.
Incredible. And even giving up the bishop, but now it's too late. Yeah. And this...
look at the finish. Look at the finish.
Okay, well, I've got to throw this open again, because this is, again, just extraordinary.
I mean, there may very well be more than one way to win this position, but the way he chooses is spectacular.
Okay, black to play and win. Spectacularly. I'm not getting. It's interesting. This is the comments have they've gone very quiet again.
I think it's nice also down to sort of to show a current game, a game from last year, as a balance to the fantastic classic games that we've seen already this evening.
Definitely
from 1895 and then subsequent editions.
Yeah. Okay. Interesting. We've got G5 check suggested. We've got Bishop E7 suggested. Basically, this is a forced continuation. So if you're putting a one move with a question mark beside it, no guessing, folks. We're looking for.
I think there are several ways to deliver checkmate here, but
yeah, actually, G5 looks clear. Actually, yeah, G5 does the job too. Right. Because this is. That looks quite good, and I think we can force the king in the right direction. Yeah. So G5 is very clear as well, but actually, as a couple of people have suggested, Bishop G3 is a fantastic idea, and yeah, I think Lagarde selected the most elegant way to go. Actually, it's interesting. Stu, would you play? Yeah, there you go, Queen H6. I don't know which one would you choose. I think that's beautiful.
Yeah, I think if I'd have seen Bishop G3, I would have gone for it. Yeah,
yeah, definitely,
so, yeah.
Absolutely fantastic. So yeah, we're right up to date, and as we've been saying, if you want to click through to the Congress website, hastingschess.com. and you can find all the details of the tournament then, or tournaments, because there are lots of different sections, yeah, for different
exactly.
For
That's
different
right.
grades.
We have 6 or 7 tournaments, and then we have the weekend congress at the end as well. So you can play many different events there.
So even if you can't make the full 9 rounds, there's always the weekender. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. And as I say, the full entry form will be online very, very soon, in the next day or two. And there's a couple of little bits of details, information missing, I think, off the website, which will soon be up as well. But everything is in hand, everything is in place, so it should be a really, really good event.
Fantastic. Listen, Stuart, I think we're going to have to wrap up fairly soon. Thanks very much for joining us, and of course, I wish you well for the Congress.
Thank you.
I should say to everyone watching, we've got we prepared so much material and we've only got through a fraction of it. Listen, maybe we can do it another time and give the Congress another boost.
Absolutely love to. Absolutely love to, Dan.
Yeah.
Absolutely love to.
And hear more stories, because actually I wanted to look at the Lilienthal Capablanca game, which is last week we had Alex Cholovic on the channel. He was talking about Capablanca, and that's for another day.
And what about your own games from Hastings? You said you had a game or two, maybe, or one game.
Well, as I mentioned earlier, my Hastings my Hastings Premier participation wasn't covered in glory, but I'd be very happy to look at one of my disasters from there, because actually it's a spectacular disaster. So yeah, we'll maybe another time, but
Sure.
So there's plenty more to look at. So listen, thanks everyone for tuning in, and hastingschess.com, and nice to see everyone. And Stu, thanks very much again for joining the stream.
Thank you very much indeed, Dan, and it's been a pleasure.
We shall be in touch. Okay, thanks a lot everyone. Bye now.
Thanks. Thank you.